Okay, in this video we will take a look at how to overload. I think the insertion operator is probably what we'll do next. So the idea is, we got to start on this the last time. We set up our ABC class, we set up our overloaded plus or addition operator, and next we said that we want to do this. We want to insert or use the insertion operator with an object, which we have not done before. We've only used ints, floats, doubles, primitive data types, things like that, and strings. And now we want to have this work. So how do we do this? There's a couple of things that we need to do, and that will involve friend functions. We'll write the overloaded insertion operator as a friend, standalone friend of the ABC class, and so we'll combine a whole bunch of things that we've talked about in this lecture. Okay, this will eventually it'll enable input and output of objects. Just sort of, it's a little bit like serialization in Java. Those of you who've seen serialization, it's somewhat similar. It's a completely different idea in one sense, in that in C++ we use the idea of streams, and so this is used to extract from a stream or insert into a stream. We don't have anything like that in Java. In Java we convert objects to strings and print it out, or we use serialization, in which case we are using some binary representation of objects. Here this is a little bit different, a little bit more customizable, but then the idea is that we want to use input-output operations on objects. Okay, so that said, now this is very similar to other operator overloads like the plus operator. This is a binary operator. It's different in that it can be cascaded. That is, you can have a whole bunch of things inserted into a cout stream, for example. So you can have cout, insertion, some object, insertion end line, or insertion a string, or insertion of another object, so on. Okay, the whole reason for doing this is that it improves the readability. So when you see something like this, once you get used to it, you know that this is just going to print out an object, put it into the stream. Later on, when we do file I/O, we will see that we can actually insert an object into a file stream, an output file stream, or you can use input file stream to read something into an object. So in that sense, it's the same idea as serialization in Java. This is about as close as we get to serialization in C++. So this works just like operator overloads. It's sort of readable, and instead of, it's more readable than doing something like this, saying object name dot, calling some method. Okay, so we could do everything with methods. That is, functions. We could do everything with functions, member functions, but at the same time, this we would often think that this is, or most people think that this is a little bit more readable. Okay, so now let's take a look at how to overload the insertion operator. And we will use it with cout, although you can use it with files as well. So this is a binary operator. And so remember, with binary operators, there are two operands. There's the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So the first operand is the predefined object cout in this case. If you take this example, the first object is cout, and the second operand is this string. So you want to keep that in mind when we define the less than or insertion operator. If this is the first operand, this is the second operand. And remember, with the addition operator, the examples that we looked at so far have had like an object on each side of the plus operator. In that case, we could use we could set up a member function. Here, since the first operand is cout, we cannot really redefine cout. So we have to use, so what it comes down to is if you want to print out an object like this, you cannot set up a member function to do this, right? Because this is the first operand, this is the second. You have to have a friend function. Okay, so hope that idea is clear, and we'll take a look at how to implement this this operand. So remember, once again, left-hand side, right-hand side, first operand, that's the left-hand side, is cout. Second operand is, in this case, string, or if you have an object, it'll be the object. Okay. So what are the operands of this operator? On the left-hand side is the cout object. This is a class oStream, so output stream. We haven't had to deal with that so much, but now we will. And so we will use, this is the name of the type. This is actually the name of the class that cout is an instance of. Cout is an instance of this class oStream. It's built into IOStream, and that's why we include IOStream in all our programs. The right-hand operand of this operator is whatever our class is. Okay, so in our example, the right-hand side of this, in this use of insertion, is the object C, which is an instance of class ABC, and so we will need to modify, or we will have to set up a friend function for this ABC. All right, so we'll take a look at how to do that pretty soon. Let's just finish up a few things, a few notes about overloading insertion. So if there is a money example in the class, and I'm going to just give you a different example, definitely take a look at the money class. So the money class used this member function called output, in which you explicitly called cout. There's a lot of disadvantages to using that. It'd be better if we could use the insertion operator. Sorry, it should go the other way. And if you had that, this is what you could do differently, is you could cascade these insertion operators to have a string, and then this whole thing, you insert this amount object. So amount is an instance of the money class. And then you can cascade it again, and you put in a new line and things like that. So this would be, instead of doing something like this, you have one statement saying I have, you put out the string, and then you call the output member function to do this part. Okay. All right. And so here's another thing that you want to keep in mind. This is a little bit different from some of the other overloads that we've looked at. So what is the return value of this insertion operator? So to look at that, here's the thing. We have to allow cascades. That is, we have to allow things like the cout, insert, in this case a string, and then insert an object. And this is equivalent to doing this. All of this couted first, and then whatever object this is, we're going to insert this object. So then you might want to think about this. What is this type? What is the type of this expression? It turns out this expression, the type of this is oStream. It is the same thing that cout is made of. So this whole thing that I've highlighted here, that's in parentheses, that should be, in the end, that should be an object of type oStream, or it should actually be cout itself. So that's what we have to worry about when we overload the insertion operator. What should we return? It turns out we should return cout. Why? So that we can allow cascading to work. So this kind of cascading insertion operator sequence. Okay, and you'll see pretty soon. It's pretty straightforward. Actually, you just have to remember a few things. I keep getting, every year people forget to return the right thing, and it sort of messes them up. And the thing to remember is that when you overload an insertion operator, you want to return cout itself in our case. Cout is actually going to be the first argument. because remember, this is a binary operator, left-hand side is cout. So that's going to be the first argument. This is whatever's on the right-hand side is going to be the second argument. So let's take a simple example. I think it'll make more sense. All right, this is what we want to do. How do we do this? First of all, we need a friend operator. So what we need to do is say friend. So this I haven't set up an example. There are examples in the book, and you definitely want to take a look at that. And we will use just about everything we learned in this chapter. So first of all, we're going to return a reference. Okay, we did that a little bit. Here's where we definitely need to use it. And we're going to say we have a reference parameter. That's the left-hand side of the insertion operator is going to be something of type ostream. Okay, and then the right-hand side is going to be, it's going to be an instance of the ABC class. But of course, remember, for efficiency's sake, you want to make it a reference, and for safety's sake, we want to make it a const. And you might ask, why don't we make the cout a const? Well, we can't, because we're going to output to that stream, and so when we output, we are going to change things. So we could try putting it, but it won't work. All right, so here we go. So that's what we need. We need a friend ostream. Okay, so now we get an error message. That is because we don't have iostream, and so now we need to put that in. So pound include iostream will give us ostream. Ostream is included with iostream. I believe we still have that error message, but I think we're okay. Oh, what we have left to do is to define this operator. All right, so let's do that next. Let's copy this, and you can put it in your main function. In the same file as your main function, but I think a good place to put it would be right here. All right, and here, let me see. I don't think we need, just trying to figure out how we're gonna set this up. All right, so we have a friend, and I think we should just delete this. All right, let me see if that'll work. To get the skeleton working, what we need to do is return, that's what I forgot. What do we call this? Output stream. All right. And the operand. Okay, now we're good. All right, so this is the bare minimum I think we would need. Let's save it and compile it. This doesn't do anything yet. All right, I got some error messages. Ostream. Doesn't know what ostream is. Let me see if this is the problem. Alright, so I'm going to have to figure out how to get this ostream to work, so I will continue this in the next video. I'm almost out of time. So this is what we want to set up so that ultimately we can get this to work. Notice that this error message is gone, but now we have to fix the error messages that go with getting this to work, and we'll do that. We'll start that in the next video.